Yeah, everything looks good now. Let's give it a shot. So welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 of CTL week number 4 between Guns N' Roaches and Team Anarchy. Spawning in the top position of GSL Antigua Shipyard in the teal color. Playing for the team, the Guns N' Roaches, it is MaestroXC. And spawning across from him in the green color, he's playing random. He's spawned as Zerg. He's playing for Team Anarchy. He is, in fact, Anarchy's team captain. It's KyleJS. I believe Maestro is also Guns N' Roaches' captain, so this might be a captain-on-captain fight, and perhaps the first one that we've had so far in CTL. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I might be wrong. Anyway, ZVZ on Antigua Shipyard. I personally detest ZVZ. I don't mind watching it, but I can't stand playing it. I don't know how you Zerg players do it, so props to you if you can navigate your way through this matchup. We do see we have shenanigans as of yet from either player, so this is going to be at least a more standard opening. Maestro sending out his scout at 13 supply. We see KyleJS actually opting not to scout. He's getting a very early extractor, so we'll see a speedling opening from him, I imagine. This could also be for a roach rush of some variety, but speedlings, of course, way more likely. And there's the spawning pool, so that's actually a 14 extractor, 13 pool for those of you keeping track at home. Meanwhile, we see MaestroXC going to go for 15 hatchery. And 15 hatchery, of course, very risky. I wouldn't say very risky. It goes through phases of being risky and not risky again in ZVZ. But you can't hold early pools with a 15 hatchery. It's just quite complicated. But we do see MaestroXC going to get into his opponent's base and scout out. Okay, now he's going into his opponent's. This drone's not working with me. Spawning pool nearly finished up for KyleJS. No expansion spotted, so Maestro needs to be a little bit worried, although he hasn't seen any Zerglings coming out at the same time, so he's not going to be too worried about this. Meanwhile, we see him still very risky. He goes for the 15 hatchery, then the 17 pool, and then an 18 extractor to follow that up. KyleJS, meanwhile, going to have these Zerglings out. He's going to chase down, well, looks like he wanted to expand and was going to chase down his opponent's drone, but instead goes for speedlings across the map. They, of course, don't have speed yet. Baneling Nest on the way, 4 more Zerglings as well. Drone nearly taken care of now. The natural 7 hit points remain on it. Now 3, and it will spot the rest of the Zerglings coming out. So nice scouting information gained by Maestro. And we see actually nothing in production yet. 1 spine crawler back in the main in the mineral line and 1 queen. So these Zerglings are going to get quite a bit of damage done to this hatchery, in all honesty. And a couple more on the way as well. Picking off a drone. Nice little grab for KyleJS. So if Maestro is able to hold, he'll be in a good spot economically. KyleJS just spending a lot of money on this attack. A couple of Banelings morphing in over here. Those are very sneaky location. We'll see what he can do with them. He's going to pick off a couple more drones with these speedlings. Speed now finished for KyleJS. And that makes these Zerglings not necessarily more powerful. Oh, the Baneling attack on the larva! That's really interesting from KyleJS. And the second Baneling going to head up into the main. We'll see where he's headed. Oh, he's just to hide. Sneaky little Baneling. More speedlings rallying across the map from KyleJS. We see no expansion even thought of. No Overlord as well. So he's going to be on 26 supply for quite a while. Now hatchery goes down for Maestro. A couple more spine crawlers have been placed down. 1 spine, a queen, and a handful of Zerglings try to defend. The queen will fall there. Baneling comes in, knocks out quite a few of the Zerglings. KyleJS doing a good job, although he has nothing to do with this spine crawler right now. So he has to be very careful about the way he goes about this. Morphing in Banelings, one of the hurt Zerglings, which is something I like, and one of the non-hit Zerglings, which is something I don't. Speedless Zerglings, of course, for Maestro actually can't run away. KyleJS still rallying more Zerglings across the map. And this all comes down to the Ling Baneling war. Baneling to come in here. Oh, almost got a nice detonation, but he's just going to pull off. One Zergling does split. Oh, 1-for-1. Really nice trade there from Maestro, and he's done a good job so far. Spinecrawler's readjusting. Speedlings will come out. He's going to try to finish off this little army. Baneling hiding in the smoke cloud as he pops out. Can he get a good detonation here? Oh, he gets 4 Zerglings. That's not too bad. So Kyle currently with the Zergling lead. He's still turning in more. Still no expansion, of course, for him. Back behind this, he does almost have enough money, but the pressure's still on. Units tab, I think, is more relevant right now. 14 Speedlings, 3 Baneling Cocoons against just a handful of Zerglings for Maestro. Can he hold on? The Queen nearly re-out. 2 Spinecrawlers doing a lot of damage, though. There's still 2 Banelings here for KyleJS, and I kind of like that he's sending them in one at a time. It gives him more options. There's a nice evolution chamber for Maestro, and he's holding on by the skin of his teeth. If we look at the drone count, we see he's actually by 2 drones, so eventually his economy will be better. Oh, and he does pick off that Baneling with just 2 Zerglings. That's another nice trade for Maestro. Kyle, though, not giving up. He's trying to get in somewhere. That Baneling actually doesn't do anything. It might have done a little bit of splash damage to the Queen. In comes Zerglings. He's trying to snipe the Queen. He does pin it against the hatchery, and he will take it down. Drone's now being pulled by Maestro, but he's not going to be able to do anything. Kyle still only making the Zerglings back behind this. A couple more. 7 Banelings morphing in from KyleJS, and this is going to be go time. If Maestro can get a good hit with his 2 Banelings, though, he'll be in a good spot. Zerglings coming in, trying to engage on the Spinecrawler. How many kills does it have? 4 on that one. 6 on this one. Really nicely done. Spines. There's a 7 Spinecrawler. Of course, they don't get accolades. And, oh, the Baneling detonation. They don't quite kill the Queen, and that's really costly for KyleJS. Now he's going to have to retreat, and Maestro holds. Maestro getting the Baneling detonation on top of every single one of Kyle's Baneling, and then all exploding on the Queen, unable to take it down, and Maestro now in a good position to start to counterattack across the map. Instead, he's going to throw out a couple of drones. Kyle not quite done with this all in. He's throwing a Roach Warren back behind this. Both players still floating actually quite a few resources to where they should be at this part of the game. Maestro still holding on. He's got 2 Queens out. He's got 2 Spines for defense. Will he actually risk taking an expansion here? His Zerglings out in the middle of the map, taking a good position away from his opponent, but Kyle can't just run across the map. He's got 3 Banelings of his own, and the game's kind of settled down. 17 drones to 12. We're at the 10.5 minute mark. Standard ZVZ. Zergling going to try to go to control the watchtower. Actually, he's in for a little bit of scouting information. He wants to try and see the expansion, and it does look like he'll get in there. Really nice scouting information gained now by KyleJS, and that's really well done. Maestro, though, I believe has this link count right now, 14 to 9, with 14 more on the way. But there are a couple of Roaches out. So 6 Roaches, 3 Banelings, excuse me, going to be the deciding factors. This Baneling is actually going to zone out a couple of these Zerglings. 2 Zerglings going to try to take care of it. Will they actually snipe the Baneling? They do. Really nicely done. Again by Maestro. He's traded very effectively against these Banelings. Another Baneling going to come out. That's a big detonation, though. And now Maestro has to retreat back across the map. Maestro actually going to sacrifice his Overlord, but he gets very valuable scouting information. He sees the lair. He'll actually see it. No, he doesn't see it finish, but he knows the lair is on the way, and he'll start his own lair now. He has his own evolution chamber already, so Mutalist's not going to be a gigantic worry for him, as he can jump a couple of Spore Crawlers. More Speedlings going to come in, trying to run by these Roaches. He picks off some of the morphing Banelings, but he really can't engage these Roaches without losing everything. Now going to have to fall back. 31 supply to 28. We're at the 12.5 minute mark in this gold level ZVZ. Neither player really using their injects very well. We see a lot of energy on these Queens. Kyle does need an expansion, or he's just going to continue falling farther and farther behind economically. Behind by 4 drones right now, which doesn't seem like the biggest number, but it actually is. Spinecrawler being transferred down to the natural. That looks so weird when they're running. There it goes. And the layer nearly finished now. It does finish for Maestro, and we'll see where both players want to go from here. They're making just really impressive amounts of Zerglings. Roaches do come in. They're trying to pick up the Spinecrawler. Manage to steal one of the Roaches. Speedlings come in. And it does look like he actually has enough to defend against these roaches now. As a couple of them do fall, they're getting into a really nice position back in this corner. So nice micro by KyleJS. The two Bailings going to come in. Oh! And they do zone out the Seedlings from Maestro. Maestro though comes in and gets one detonation for his trouble. This Bailing going to come in. Oh, the detonation doesn't quite hit. So Maestro not able, or Kyle, excuse me, not able to hit the Bailing hits that he needs. Maestro going to have to pull back into his main though. Morphed in a couple of Bailings of his own. And one Spine Crawler is still left. It's back in the main mineral line. This natural going to be targeted again. Kyle meanwhile finally taking his own natural back behind this, about 3/4 of the way done. Speedlings coming in. Roaches now zoning out. The Bailings they get good detonations on top of some of these roaches. He does get a handful of the Zerglings as well. And will these Zerglings be able to clear everything up? It does look like he'll be able to get these roaches. Speedlings trying to come in as well for KyleJS. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. As the roaches fall, a lot of the Speedlings fall. The Bailings coming in though, and those can turn the tide. Again, really nice splitting by Maestro, able to take care of these Bailings without losing too much in return. And now the roach, the Zergling counterattack from Maestro headed across the map. A couple of roaches coming towards center from KyleJS. 5 of them right now, but Maestro actually just going to run by. Roach is able to take down a couple of them, but there's nothing back home to defend. There's 3 roaches now, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Maestro tried to run in. 6 Zerglings there, a couple more run by. He's into the main, going to target down a couple of these drones. He will get 2 for his trouble very quickly. 3 fall now. I'm trying to run. He's still chasing down more. We see down to 7 drones now as KyleJS. He's targeting the Queen as well. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that. But if we look, 4 workers killed to 4 now. The economic pressure just hasn't been there, but it's way more costly for KyleJS. 18 drones now to 7 is the biggest number. Kyle now headed his drones back into his main, even losing some more mining time here. More Zerglings and Bailings at the front, though, from Maestro, forcing more pressure. If he can take down these roaches, that's game. A couple of these morphing Bailings, those are pretty big as they hit all of the roaches. All of these roaches so weak now. 1 Bailing comes in, and everything should be able to be cleaned up. 4 Bailings still left alive. Headed into the main base. The Spines should be able to take care of 1, maybe 2 of them. Detonates on a couple of the drones. Will he get the rest of them? It hurt. All of them so low, but none of them quite dead. Speedling's coming in. He just kind of ignores that Bailing, taking it down. And this looks like it's going to be at 45 supply to 14 now. Queen falls. A couple of Zerglings left do fall. 28 more Zerglings in production. He's going to try to target the Spine. That's not quite going to work with only 4 Zerglings here. But here comes the big reinforcement of Zerglings from Maestro. KyleJS, meanwhile, building 1 drone currently. This 1 Zergling getting 2 drone kills for himself. And if we look now, 12 workers have been killed to 4. We're down to 4 drones to 25. And in come the Speedlings of MaestroXC, targeting down the natural now. He will get another drone for his trouble. Headed up into the main. There's 2 morphing Bailings he needs to be a little bit weary about. And they do pop now. Now targeting the spawning pool. Spine Crawlers are still zoning pretty well, as are the Bailings. I think this is just way too many Zerglings, though. He does engage. He loses a lot of his Zerglings, but there's still enough left over. GG from KyleJS as he falls to 3 supply. A couple more attacking the natural. And Maestro takes game number 3 for Guns and Roaches. And GNR up to a 3-0 lead. 1 more win will close out the week for them and give them their 2nd win of the league. And bring them back to 500. So please stay tuned. My name is ANarchy. I've been casting Chobo Team League week number 4. Guns and Roaches leads 3-0 over Team Anarchy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 4.